chasing fame, never chasing fame. Dragons, chicks, and dead presidents. Never chasing fame, dreams, but never snatch chains of any measurements.
What's good? Good evening. This is G Holla, gholla.com, ghollaradio.com, on FMG Media TV radio show as well. Our guest for this evening is supposed to be Mr. Ras Kass, international back in the day hip-hop extraordinary lyricist. What's good with you, Mr. Ras Kass? How you doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for calling in. It's a pleasure and honor to have one of the greatest lyricists in hip-hop to actually call us up and be on our radio show today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for taking the time out for me.
I appreciate that, brother. So we're going to get right into it. Normally I have a couple of hosts with me, but they're currently unavailable at this time, so we're just going to build a little dialogue. First, I want to say I am truly a fan. This ain't no Hollywood commercial thing. I really do listen to your music. I liked all the jewels that you was dropping in your music, even before I came into any type of conscious knowledge. Now going back and revisiting a lot of your songs from the beginning to now, I'm seeing that you were real deep as far as, I guess, what they would call the occult or the hidden, that you're dropping those lessons in there. And I appreciate that, for real.
Thank you. At least I know, somebody, a few people picked it up and understood I was, it wasn't all, straight entertainment and ignorance. Some of it, there was some meaning and content behind it. So, thank you.
Yeah, that was dope. What? Growing up, what artists, hip hop wise, did you look at? Not be like, say like, okay, I want to kind of walk in their footsteps, but not really copy, but kind of like emulate a little bit.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun. We all get influenced by other people. So, I mean, really more than artists, man. I just took as I started getting, what we call knowledge of self or self-awareness or, wanting to, those two are pretty good. Self-actualization is what they call them in psychology class, where you start figuring out what makes you tick and why you do the things you do. He's not an artist, but I definitely, as I started reading W.E.B. Du Bois, Malcolm X, those people definitely were very interesting in their time period, which, they had it even, more overt, more plain in their face, and still had to stand up and be men and say, nah, I'm not with that. And Du Bois was really interesting because he started off kind of siding with society and then realized, nah, they're doing this on purpose, So, but as far as MCs, man, of course, I always say, Rakim said he was God, and I'm a fan. And I grew up, my family from Louisiana. I was baptized Catholic, so I ain't never heard nobody say they God. And I'm on the West Coast, you know what I'm saying? So I like the music, and then I'm thinking, it's a New York slang, and it's God or GUY, like maybe Chicago or something. I don't know. I'm ignorant. I'm in LA, and I have never really traveled. At least kicking it, I was too young to go out and have homies in other places. I only had a cousin in New York, but I didn't understand that whole God. So that made me investigate because I was a fan of it. And I was like, what does that mean? Am I hearing it right? And then it was God. It was really God. And I had to do the research. So definitely a Rakim, Poor Righteous Teacher, Public Enemy, which would definitely set us off. As far as the conscious part, and KRS-One sealed the deal for me. I mean, I was just like, yo, man, like, You Must Learn, and all those records, man. Even just, Criminal Minded, where he's reenacting the Malcolm X. When I first saw that album, I don't think I knew what that was. And then as I read and saw pictures and understood Malcolm X, I was like, how deep he was, So that was not criminal by any means necessary, but just those people, the 5%ers, the 5%ers would be, like I said, Poor Righteous Teachers and Brand Nubian and Rakim, and then there were just this conscious, like, political public enemies in the KRS Ones, and then KRS One became, as he grew, he became a little more spiritual, whatever. But just watching those journeys, my people that are probably closer to when I came out, like the Nas's and them, a lot of us, they're like the grade or two before us, the Nas's and the Biggies and the Pacs, and even Pac was Pan-African when he came out. Brenda's Got a Baby and that whole album, Trap, it was Pan-Africanism if you listen to what he was talking about. And then you had people like Scarface and NWA that just had the straight street soldier interpretation. So they all influenced me.
Okay, yeah, that's a powerful concoction right there.
Yeah, Paris was on straight Nation of Islam, Black Panther. People forget about Paris and his contributions. He was from the Bay, and he was straight on that. So with so many people being able, before they really could corral all of it, with institutionalized record labels where they kind of say this is gonna go and not this and whatever. Back then it was kind of still the Wild West, so a lot of people were getting in with different messages, and it was a smorgasbord, if you will, of a lot of different perceptions to the same problem.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hey, well, speaking of God, the generator, operator, destroyer, what is macro to the micro? What is your understanding of what God is now? How do you view that now?
I mean, I don't think in my finite brain that I'm supposed to understand what's beyond that. If there's something that's supreme, my words can't quite formulate that. My brain can't quite. I will say this, that when we talk about Mother Earth, or we talk about just the nature of the universe is feminine. So my belief, and most Judeo-Christian people are going to get upset, but I would believe that whatever birthed us, it came out of a vagina and not a penis. So I think we are the image and likeness of being the original people of this planet, as black people. But everybody's black if they accept that about themselves, that they came from us, that we are all cousins. That we are made in the image and likeness of a supreme creator, and that happens to be a dark-skinned thing. And so people get really offended when you say that, but then they make their creator this white guy, and everybody's okay with that, and that's sick.
True.
So probably the creator is a black woman, and that's probably. If you look at the science of the universe and the nature of things, it's usually the feminine. So that's people may get offended, but I mean, how can you not? How can you be a lot? I find it interesting that people will get offended if you say the creator's black. It doesn't matter what color he is, but then they run around and keep showing this white guy with a big beard that looks like Santa Claus. And depending on where you go, the Asian Jesus looks Asian. The Latino Jesus looks, he's a little tanner with Jerry curl. I mean, it's a clown show. So but when you say, well, the dude was born in Africa and lived in Africa, then they get mad. No, it doesn't matter what he looks like. Oh, come on, man.
Or the biggest thing they say. They were like, Egypt is not in Africa. I'm like, what continent is it on?
My grandmother I remember my grandmother saying that to me. She's from Louisiana. She came out here in 1959 or 60 or something like that. And she literally said that as a kid. She was like, Egypt ain't in Africa, and I had to get a map and show her, because that's what they were teaching people before. That's crazy. That's how horribly misinformed and educated we are as Americans, for one, but specifically as black people, as people, inner city people. They misinform us on purpose so that we have a poor moral view of ourselves.
No, you're right. That's true.
If they could, they would cut it off. If they could, they would cut it and put it in Great Britain. But they can't. You can't pick up a whole part of the continent and put it somewhere else. Now, you can draw lines and say this is the Middle East now, but it's not. It's Africa.
That's right. That's absolutely right. You're right, because you look at the map, it's just like going from like we in Georgia going to South Carolina. The bridge, it's the same way. Like it's still part of America.
Yeah.
You can't just cut it off and be like, no, that's the ocean. Nah. But I got what you're saying. Makes a lot of sense. It really does. And that's the type of conversation that we get into. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I was just gonna add on. Jerusalem is in Africa. It's separated by what white people created. It's called the Suez Canal. So it's very interesting to watch how people play this game of geography and how they lie, and they want what they want, so they claim it to be this and try to come up with these lies about how they had it because they have control of it now.
No, that's true. I mean, and like you're saying, also, even though in this country, on this continent, when you ask people, hey, what is a Native American, they're going to tell you somebody that's light-skinned or white-skinned.
Right.
Hell, and you're like, no, that's not the actual, because, I'm pretty sure you sound like you're very well-read, because you'll have somebody like, Dr. Joseph Benakanan and Ivan Van Sertima, who wrote, They Came Before Columbus. And that's to show, like, in Mexico, the Olmecs, or that's what they get the word transition into Mexican. It's Olmexican, Olmec. Like, as you break down the etymology, you'll see, like, broad nose, big lips, as you already know, wide. Mm-hmm. So you're right. Even in this country.
He was in the Nation of Islam, and, he was pretty incendiary, but Khalid Abdul-Muhammad used to say one thing that I still find very, very, it's common sense. But what he would say is, if a man won't treat you right, what makes you think a man would teach you right? So we live in a country, he won't even treat us right. Do you think he would empower us with our biggest gift, which is our brains, to teach us the right things? No.
That's right. No, you're right. That's the new form of slavery. You're right. It's the mental. You're right.
Yeah, so we live in a place where everybody's misled, and a lot of, there's certain people, and this is not, we have that own problem within the so-called black community. But, like, there's Latinos, I give Brazilians a lot of credit because they are prideful about their African bloodline, But there's a lot of people like, no, I'm Spanish. You're not just Spanish, bro. You're a Native American and the African slave and indigenous native that had African blood within him. So why are you ashamed of who you are? Is the biggest problem that we have this big. We hate ourselves, and we really identify with the person that raped and killed our great-great-grandmothers and fathers. And we idolize him because we want to assimilate into what he tells us success is, instead of saying being okay with all of you, we have to pick one part to make us be more special and closer to him. That's weird. To idolize your race. No,
you're right. They call it, what's that, the Stockholm disease, where
Stockholm syndrome. That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then now you become like, you get like this relationship where you begin to love your captor. You begin to admire them, like you're saying. Go, oh my God, he must be like God, because like you're saying, when they introduce their version of God to us, our ancestors must have thought, well, your God must be stronger than mine because I'm doing this ritual, these magic, and it's magic, and I can't get out of these chains, and you got me in the chains, so maybe I need to convert over to your God, and maybe it might help me then. So you're right.
Hey, Razzcast, what's going on, brother?
Peace, brother. I'm good, man. Just maintain it.
Okay, I see you dropping knowledge, man. I like that. It's starting to be a bit more trendy now, which I think some people are scared of, but I'm kind of proud of it because that love of ourselves, if we can get that back in style like it was back in the day. I heard you earlier talking about Brand Nubian and KRS-One and some of the rappers from back in the day who had that consciousness and had swag with it.
Right.
If we could somehow get that back, it would be lovely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, I don't know. It's a million directions I can go with this conversation right here. Cause this conversation I've been waiting for. Tell me, seriously, man, it's hard to find people to have a good conversation with. What do you think that we can do in our community nowadays? Because my thing is paradigm shifts. My whole thing is paradigm shift. What can we do, or what do you think would have to happen for black people as a whole to start thinking of everything completely different from the way that we've been brainwashed to think now. Because I don't believe this is our original train of thought. I think this is just the way that this is the way that it was designed for us to think at this stage in history. What would we have to do to switch that, make everything just change? What do you think?
Was that posed towards me?
Yeah, I mean, just really just a conversational question. Just like, do you think there's any hope for a paradigm shift in our community at all?
Yeah, I don't know if we see it in our time. Like, our generation. Generation is what, only 20 years, so maybe we ain't the ones to do it. But I'm a firm believer that where there's hope, there's change. And I think that, and I hate to be negative, but Malcolm X and other people said this before. We had black senators right after the emancipation and the Reconstruction. So we keep going in this where we wake up, then we go to sleep, then we wake up, then we go to sleep, then we wake up and we go to sleep. A few people get some money and we get fame, and then everybody's poor for the most part, but we look up to them like we can make it, then we go back to sleep. That's our problem. We have a continual problem of somebody cuts through and we're like, we all made it because Michael Jordan got some shoes, and then we go back. And so as far as paradigm shift, it hurts me as a part of the human community for one, but specifically as a Black American that we go to sleep so often. And we seem to be going to sleep faster and faster, is what I've noticed. So maybe as far as I don't have the answer what needs to happen, but I forgot. In Islam, they say it takes a certain percentage to be upset before change happens. And maybe we haven't had enough upset. Maybe we need, because it's a collective, and those people, there are good people in every, and there's no such thing as race, but whatever, if you want to call it ethnicity or color code or nationality, a nation is not race. But when enough people get upset to really understand what's going on here, which is really a have and have nots, we just know who happens to have most of it, then you get people who are willing to stand and die for what's right. And maybe in America, maybe we need a what you call them. Maybe as far as paradigm shift, maybe we need down. Maybe we need. He's pulling out about 46% of this country that has been sitting here mad as hell because they feel like they deserve everything, and blacks and Mexicans and everybody else deserves to fucking get out of their country like they made it. That's what they think. Yeah. And until so he's pulling out the only truth. So the mirror to America, and America has shown its ugly face.
Okay.
And maybe we need somebody like that to start telling us what water fountains we drink out of again, and building a wall for Mexicans so they can realize they're not as white as they think they are, so we can all band together and get this over with. That's the fact.
Yeah, it's funny because I was talking to G the other day, and I was just saying, man, it seems like the only way. Do you ever remember a show called Cosmic Slop back in the day?
I vaguely remember that.
You remember the episode when they was like, "Hey, you got 90% melanin, you got to go with the aliens."
I kind of remember that.
Yeah. I was like, man, will it have to go that far for us to galvanize, to get together, and be like, hey, man, because I don't know. I was listening to Dr. Claude Anderson this morning, and he was talking about how, everybody makes money off of black folks, and we don't make money off of nobody. And that's capitalism. And it was just, just the condition of our people to just see, and it seems like the game that you were saying, the back and forth or the kind of sleep and awake. It seems like the white folks got a hold on. They got a grip on that. They like, this is what's going to happen. It's almost like they set traps just to see what the results going to be. You know what I'm saying? It's like this. Yeah. It's crazy to me, and I sit back and watch, and I guess this is my thing of coming into consciousness. When I see things, I don't see it the way everybody else sees it, and started to question myself. Think I was crazy because I'm like, man, I can't be this crazy. I can't be the only one seeing all this happening like this. Wow.
Right.
That's right.
I mean, I don't think anybody. I mean, I think they sit around and they definitely have plans, but they didn't expect this rap. You know, if rap, we do things organically. You can't stop the people. What you can do is start channeling the energy the wrong way. So I think we always recreate and we always, you know, we rise above. We just have to be cognizant. People were saying this 20 years ago. We needed to pool our resources and own this rap stuff, and now we didn't, and we see the results.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because one person gets it and says, "Well, I'm rich and you're not, so why should I talk to you?" And he becomes just as bad as you know, whatever that you know, whatever that very rich old family with old rich money that was made off our people's backs. We get our own kind acting like them, you know, and not paying it back to the rest and helping everybody. And then you get people, you know, like we are one of the least of the so-called civilized countries. They don't really. We're getting into an age of computer. You know, it's computers are going to do everything, so they don't need as many of us. They're the new kind of slavery. You understand what I'm saying? So they don't need you to have a job. Your new job could just be going to prison, or at least, you know, they got drones. They still need somebody to run out there and get blown up when they go decide they want some oil or whatever they want from somebody. So they got jobs for you. They just take really cool jobs. I don't want to do them. I don't want to sit in nobody's stand where they make money in the 5-star prison, and I don't want to go front line for some jerk who wants to go get some oil and still charge us $4 a gallon. Why do it?
Yeah.